So that was supposed to be part of the curriculum. And no, Florida has pretty much stripped that out now. 3 members of this task force are pointing out now and complaining that what Ron DeSantis did is he actually created a quote, work group that was stacked with DeSantis's, people and bigots friendly to DeSantis. And they rewrote the curriculum without ever informing the African American History Task Force, and then put it into law without asking their opinions or anything. Dr. Donna Austin, who is a member of the actual African American History Task Force in the state of Florida, said it's the same divide techniques that they used on the plantation. It's the same identical thing. They always use methods of dividing the African and African American people. That's what they do. Apparently, some of the members on DeSantis' hand-picked task force are also black. For example, this is a quote from Social Studies 2023 standards. Quote, examine the various duties and trades performed by slaves like agricultural work, painting, carpentry, tailoring, domestic service, blacksmithing, and transportation. Instruction includes how slaves develop skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. End of quote. This rather flipped out these people. Another was, famed abolitionist Frederick Douglass was inspired by his mistress to read while enslaved. That small glimmer of light was enough to inspire him to turn it into a burning flame of illumination from which he benefited and his country benefited. Oh, isn't that nice? His slave mistress taught him how to read. Shouldn't we be all so grateful that he was enslaved and therefore, this is gaslighting. And Kamala Harris went down to Florida last week and called it out. She said this is misleading. She said they insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it. This was at the social action luncheon of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority down in Florida, which I believe is a black sorority. State Senator Geraldine Thompson said in a statement to the Daily Beast, she said, this focus is totally missing from the newly adopted, she said, Florida statute requires that instruction be provided on African civilization before colonization and slavery. This focus is totally missing from the newly adopted standards. The standards should not advance the misconception that our history as a people began with slavery and not with one of the most advanced civilizations in the world. End of quote. Now, she's a member of the task force, but she had nothing to do with, the history task force. It had nothing to do with the new standards because, again, that was the working group. She said this whitewashes the brutality that occurred when families were separated by being sold off during slavery and the resulting long-term trauma still experienced by current generations.